All right, in this lesson, I want to talk about the sample application that we're going to build in this section. So it's not going to be anything crazy, but I think it does kind of give us a little bit background on how we can move from a monolithic to a microservice and kind of where we start. So in this case, let's just say that we are part of a conference committee that puts on a conference every year. We've have this homegrown app that we've used for a while, but we realized that it's not only time for an upgrade on this application because we've been growing and growing every year, but that we want to add some new features to it. So what we're going to do is kind of talk through all the different services that we have. And again, we're starting from scratch in this example, but in this case, we would generate the different applications and probably migrate some of our existing code from our monolithic application over to this app, but we're not going to do that. We're going to stay simple here just so you can kind of see all the different moving parts working together. So let's talk about this conference application and what we're going to build out. So first off, this conference application, again, we kind of already have this in place, but what it needs to do first and foremost is be a conference app. And what does that mean? That means we need something to manage our speakers, our sessions, and based on that, we can pull up an agenda. So we have to be able to manage all the speakers that are going to be at our conference. They'll have things like a name, a bio on who they are and what they're kind of here for. We'll have a list of sessions so conference attendees can see all of the different sessions that we're going to be running, and each of those sessions will contain a speaker. And those sessions will have a start time and date and an end time and date. And based on that, we could probably hand that over to our front end guys and say, hey, come on, build us out what we call an agenda or a calendar view of when those sessions are going to happen. So that's one component to our application, and we can think of that as one microservice. So we have a conference service that's going to do one thing and do it well. It's managing our conference. But now this year we want to go ahead and add some new functionality to our conference. We want to add a blog. So a blog is going to be a place where all of us who manage the conference can give our attendees some updates. We want to let them know when new exciting speakers sign on with us, when we come up with really great session ideas for them, and just to give them some news about when they're traveling into our city here, what to expect. Maybe there's some delays because of construction. Just kind of give them updates as the conference gets closer. So that's going to be our blog microservice. And again, this can live independent of our conference app. So now we have two teams here at our conference. One could be working on the conference microservice. Another could be working on our blog microservice. Then we might have things like registration. So we have this conference that we want people to attend and they need to sign up. Well, in the past, we've done this through a third-party service, say like Eventbrite, and that's how we got people to sign up for our conference. Well, we realized that this year we want to move this in-house and we want users to register with us and take payments and be able to cancel or look up account info, etc. So there's a lot that goes into this registration component. But again, we can think of this as a microservice, whereas one team can work on just this registration piece that lives in the larger scale of our entire conference application. And finally, we want to add some pre-conference training. And so what does that kind of look like? Well, we have a couple different speakers who want to come in the day before and provide full day trainings to any of our conference attendees that want to get there a day early. So with that, there is some price points in there. There is different types of training. Maybe there's a half day, maybe there's a full day. And so there's a whole piece to this training microservice. And again, we could have another team working on just that. So this is our application that we're going to build in this section. And I think it's a good representation of how we can break this down into different microservices. So with that, let's go ahead and start building this out.